celebrating junior bowling, elevating junior bowlers. This is Prodigy Bowlers Tour. A field of 11 kids, 8 bigs and 3 littles, began the day with high hopes of making the show and getting into the championship round. But only 7 would meet that goal, 5 bigs and 2 in the littles. So let's meet our finalists. First, in the littles, qualifying in the runner-up position is Hunter. Hunter was as steady as you can be in 2 games of qualifying, firing back-to-back 156 games. He'll bowl our tournament leader amongst the littles today, Spiros. Spiros and his mom travel about 75 miles one way just to bowl Prodigy with us, and Spiros found himself on the outside looking in after the first game of qualifying, but rebounded with a big 172 the second game to move into the lead. Then we have a 5-player stepladder in the bigs. Qualifying 5th is Christian. McFluffy was in 5th place after the first game and just edged out Nolan by 8 pins to get into the top 5. He'll bowl our number 4 qualifier, Tristan. If not for Tristan's strong first game, he might not be in the stepladder today, as he lost his line in game 2. He's hoping he can regroup enough to hold Christian at bay. The winner of that first match will face our number 3 qualifier, Anthony. Sounds like a repeat of last week when Anthony also qualified 3rd, but he's hoping for a better result today. The winner of that match will move on to face our number 2 qualifier, Logan. Lofo bowled one of just 2 200-plus games in qualifying and is hoping to capture his 5th win of the season today on Prodigy. The winner of that semifinal match will bowl for the championship against our tournament leader, Melissa. That's right, Melissa didn't even plan to come in from across the state where she lives in Augusta until the very last minute, and it looks like she made a smart decision. Her 223 in the opening game of qualifying put her in the lead from the outset, and she's hoping to go wire to wire for her first Prodigy title. And that's our field today on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Live on tape from Brunswick Zone Roswell in Roswell, Georgia, it's Prodigy Bowlers Tour, a series of unofficial, informal, and impromptu after-league challenge matches staged by some of the most active and engaged youth bowlers in our program here and from anywhere else if they want to come bowl with us. With several of our program's A players out of town for a big tournament, while the Cats were away, the Mice came to play. Although the talent pool here at Brunswick Zone Roswell is deep enough that many of the Mice who are here with us today have a pretty big bite and will be looking to make off with a big hunk of cheese, or at least to get their name on the coveted trophy pin anyway. Here's how things shook out in qualifying. As I mentioned, Melissa wasted no time in grabbing on to first place, and despite a fall-off in Game 2, she closed with several strikes to fend off Logan, who finished just 3 pins behind her. Meanwhile, over in the littles, Faith may have just run out of gas after bowling 3 games in league this morning. She was sitting pretty after the first game of qualifying, but hit a wall as Spiros and Hunter both slipped past her in Game 2. So let's get right to the championship match among our 2 littles today. The number 1 seed, Spiros, and the number 2 seed, Hunter. Now, Spiros was the higher finisher in qualifying, so he had the choice of starting lanes, and he wanted to lead off. So, here we go. Spiros comes up a little bit high, leaves the 4-7. We're filming today on St. Patrick's Day, so you're going to see a lot of green. Spiros from the right side of the lane. He'll go cross lane at it. No, and it just hooks by the 4, so an open to start. And now Hunter throwing his pitch black. And throwing it well. Right in the pocket, and a solid strike to start for Hunter. And here's another look at it. That thing gets out to about the 7th board, and here it comes. Crunch. Oh, and he gets a little love tap on the 10 this time. And you gotta like that. Here it is, about out to the 7th board once again. Doesn't finish quite as deep into the pocket, but that 6 just nudges out the 10, and a double to start. Spiros crossing over, just ticking the head pin enough to get it out, but not enough to take out the 3, and he has a single pin spare. Going right at it, and it just hooks by. So back-to-back opens to start for Spiros. Not what he had in mind. He'll move just a little bit to the left to adjust for those high hits. But it goes high again, and once again he gets the 3-pin. He left it on a light Brooklyn hit on the right lane. This time it goes through the nose. He broke up the 3-10 split. Let's see if he can cover the 3-pin this time. Gives this one a little more room out to the right, and there is a conversion. And Spiros is on the board. And now Hunter in his tie-dye shirt, working on a double. And this time he gets the light shaker to go. And Hunter with a turkey out of the gate. How about this? Once again gets it out to about the 7th board, and here it comes. The head pin does all the damage on the left side of the rack. 3 in a row to start. Oh, and he pulled that one. It never got as wide as the first 3, but he stuffs it in the pocket. It held line. And he gives it a little fist pump. He likes that one. And a 4-bagger to start. I think 4 in a row is the most he's ever had. Spiros finds the pocket this time, but throwing that lighter ball. A lot of deflection. The ball deflects to the right around the 5. He leaves the 5-8. Fairly easy spare. Just throw it like a strike here. And he covers it. So back-to-back spares now for Spiros. Hunter has kind of put Spiros in a hole early with that 4-bagger to start, but Spiros getting his bearings now. Back-to-back marks. And another one right in the pocket, and this time that ball deflects enough. It deflects all the way over to the right into the 10-pin. Watch the ball deflect to the right. It will tick out the 10-pin on its way out. It ain't how, it's how many. And the 10-pin stops Hunter this time in his quest for a 5-bagger. But that's a good shot. He's rooting for it. And disappointed that he couldn't get the 5 in a row to start, but he leaves the 10. And with his release, he comes straight up the back of the ball and gets that plastic ball to go as straight as he can make it go. And he covers the spare. And this time that ball finishes a little light, doesn't drive out the 5, but he gets the head pin off the wall to take the 5 out. And he leaves a simple spare, the 7 pin. If you can keep it in play and leave yourself easy, makeable spares, that's usually enough. And a spare in the 6th. Hunter with 4 strikes and 2 spares. What a start. And once again, Spiros pulls it a little left. If he would stay down a little bit through his release, he tends to pull up. I know these little guys are still kind of learning the physical game, but if they can learn to bend their knee at release. Oops, he got his feet tangled up there and he stopped. That's a smart move. So he will reset and go again. See how straight his left knee is at release? And so he tends to pull up in his upper body, and that will sometimes make the ball pull to the left. If he could stay down with his left knee through the release, he'll be in a little better position to let it go. That'll get easier as he gets bigger and stronger. He's just 9 right now. Pretty good release that time, but a little left of target. And he leaves the 3, 6, 10. This is a difficult spare. You want to put the ball on the 3 and the 6. The 6 will take out the 10. I'd like to see him start a little farther to the left. Look out, look out. And that one misses to the left. And 7 out for Spiros in the 7th frame. Another pocket hit for Hunter. He is lined up, that's for sure. He goes to the plastic ball to shoot cross lane at the 10 pin. Look how far to the left he's standing. But he doesn't give it quite enough room to the right, and the first open for Hunter. But look at his score sheet. He should be bowling in a 9-pin no tap. He'd have the front 7. I believe that would be the front 8. Well, this is pretty awesome stuff here from Hunter. Pins have no chance to stay up when you hit it there. And another high hit for Spiros. He probably needs to move his feet a board or 2 to the left, keep his target right about where it is at the arrows. He goes with his plastic Superman ball, and down goes the 6-10. Oh, he got that one a little wider, a little too wide. And he leaves himself the 1-2-9. You want to shoot this just about like you would a strike. Put it right on the 1 where it would enter the pocket on the 1-3. The ball will carry out the 9. The 1 pin will take out the 2. Well, he goes the other way and puts the ball on the 1-2, and the 1 takes out the 9. That's a little more difficult to do it this way, but he makes it work. Hunter this time through the nose, and that's enough right there. He has won the match and has taken the championship this week in the Littles division. covers the 3-6-10. Hunter, with that four-bagger out of the gate, pretty much put himself in the driver's seat from the get-go. There's another one right in the pocket for Hunter. This time it leaves the 10. So that puts him in the 200s. That's the first time we've seen Hunter shoot a 200 game on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. Spare attempt goes wide, so that'll be a 204 for our champion this week. How about that? 204 with an open in the 10th. That's a better shot for Spiros. In the pocket, leaves the 10. Poor little guy, he never knew what hit him this game. Hurricane Hunter just swept through Brunswick's own Roswell. There's a spare for Spiros. He hasn't bowled a bad game, just 3 open frames. Be in the 150s. 152. So it's Hunter who will be signing the coveted trophy pin in the Littles division. We'll talk to both of our finalists when we return next. A quick four-bagger right out of the gate and a big 204 game for 10-year-old Hunter. And the championship match between our finalists in the Littles division was over almost as soon as it began. Once again, Spiros comes up a little short, but with each appearance on Prodigy, he keeps inching closer to a win. But this was Hunter's day. Let's visit with our 2 finalists. Ladies and gentlemen, our winner this week in the Littles division, it's Hunter. And I've kind of lost track. How many times is this for you this year, this season?
3.
Is this 3? Wow. You're now just 1 win behind Christian and Logan. That's crazy. And a nice game, a 204.
Thank you.
That's your high game on Prodigy, I know. Not your high game ever. All right, well, you know what's next.
I think this is my 8th 200.
Today is 317. Sorry. St. Patty's Day, 317. Everybody's wearing green today. And by the way, here is our runner-up, Spiros. Another good showing for you. You bowled great to become the #1 seed, but Hunter just laid it on you with a big four-bagger right out of the gate.
Right.
What do you do when somebody does that? You just plug away, right?
I just feel like, when people bowl like that, it just like kind of made me,
It made it tough. But you bowled great. You did well. And we have another signature on the coveted trophy pin right there. All right, thanks. So, with the championship among the Littles decided, we now turn our attention to the championship round amongst the Bigs. As you recall, Christian is our 5 seed with Tristan in the 4 slot. Then it's Anthony who will face the winner of our opening match, and Logan waiting in the wings to take on the winner of that match. And whoever's left will face Melissa for this week's championship. In stepladder competition, you keep advancing up the ladder as long as you keep winning. It's as simple as that. And we're ready for the first match between Christian and Tristan. And I can't wait to find out how many times I trip up on the names Christian and Tristan. But we'll see. Tristan The higher finisher had the choice of starting lanes. He wanted to finish first, which works out to Christian's liking because he always likes to go first. So they both get what they want. Christian leading off on the left lane. Well, that's not quite what he wanted. Pretty good shot, though. 9 and a wiggle. Thought he had the messenger there, but it just missed the 10 pin. Watch this. Watch the head pin go to the left wall. Here it comes. But it got redirected. He says, is that how we're going to start out? Okay. Yep, that's how we're going to start out. 10 pin, cross lane. He goes with his urethane ball. And drops it off in the channel. And that's 9 out to start. Watch this. It will fall off into the moat. And once it's in the gutter, it's dead, even though it bounces out and takes out the 10 pin. Once that ball falls into the gutter, it's dead. Christian told me he missed all his 10 pins in league this morning. And Tristan shows him how it's done right there. Puts one right in the pocket. Well, we're bowling on the Sunset Strip pattern today, if the name of the show didn't give it away. 40 feet, about a 1-to-3 ratio, and slightly lower than average volume of oil, just under 25 milliliters of oil. Lots of different ways to play this pattern. Tristan opting to go up the second arrow, and he finds the pocket but leaves the weak 8. We call it the weak 8. The solid 8 is where the 5 gets chopped back off the 8. But watch the 5 here. It goes in front of the 8. That's caused by ball deflection. The ball didn't get into a good solid roll, and it deflected when it hit the pins. If Tristan would come up a little more up the back of the ball, he'll get a little stronger roll. Or he can slow down his ball speed just a touch. Let that ball get into a better roll on the back end. So Christian moves over to the right lane, hoping to put a mark on the board this time. Well, that's not the way we recommend doing it. That one well wide of the mark. As you can see, you send it wide on this pattern, it doesn't want to come back. Here's the 1-2-8-10, a version of the washout. Put the ball on the left side of the 1, send the 1 over into the 10. The ball will get the 2 will get the 8. At least that's how you draw it up. But he gets a little too much of the 1 pin. And that's back-to-back opens for McFluffy. After that great opening shot where he almost got the messenger, he's left wanting after 2 frames. He'd love to throw another one like he did in the first frame. Maybe get it to strike this time. But he waves that one goodbye as he throws it out the window. Another wide shot, and the ball simply will not recover when you get it out that wide. And he's got the 1, 2, 4, 7. Put the ball over to the left of the 1 pin. And actually, the more hook you throw, the easier this spare is. He certainly puts enough on it that he ought to be able to make it, but the danger is to chop the spare, get too much head pin. Oh, he gets it on the right side. So Christian, a little confused in the early going. He's happy he got a spare that time, but that's not the way he intended to make the 1-2-4-7. So now Tristan back up on the right lane. Well, and perhaps guarding against the wide shot, he helped that one up a little bit and pulled it. Goes through the nose and he leaves the 6-10. Tristan shot games of 195 in qualifying. That was good for second. And then he fell off with a 147 game the second game. He bowled his qualifying over on the pair to our right, 39 and 40. This is his first game on 37 and 38. He covers the spare, the littles, and two of the bigs bowled their qualifying on 37 and 38, while the rest of the bigs were over on 39 and 40. Just luck of the draw the way that worked out. Well, they've turned the rock and roll on the speakers, and the woofers are obviously working properly. See if we can't get them to turn this down. I know they have open play down on the low end, but most people hate this. Well, and they hate that too. The 4, 6, 7, 10, and well, the guitars didn't come on until after you let it go, Tristan, so you can't really blame that, but it is distracting. He'll just go for two. Not much you can do with the big 4. Just take two and hope something bounces out. So an open frame for Tristan, and that tightens up this match. Christian now just down by 4. And he hasn't been close to striking since the first frame. I feel like wearing my leather and spikes. How about that one right there? Christian right back in the pocket. And you know he liked that one. First one he's thrown in the pocket since the first frame. We'll take another look at it. And that was textbook right there. Christian moves over to the left lane. He'd love to put a double up on the board and take the lead. And that's exactly what he does. As we watch it again, this one in that half pocket, but has enough juice on it to get the 6 to slap out the 10. Good shot. And back-to-back 4 6s for Tristan. And he looks exasperated. I would be too. He did pull it. He'll just go for one. Well, it looks like he may have been trying to go ahead and slide that over. The odds of making it by sliding it over or just ticking the 6 are pretty slim, about 1,000 to 1 maybe. You'll get 8 more often than you get a spare, I'll tell you that much. Better to just take one. So Tristan needs to right the ship now. That was a better shot, but he just couldn't get it to come up. Came off his hand pretty well, but a little overcorrection perhaps. With those back-to-back high hits, here's the 1-2-4 and how you make it. And that's too much one pin, and he sends the 2 around the 4. And that is a buzzard. 3 opens in a row. Yikes. So now Christian in the driver's seat, working on a double. He can extend the lead to 39 with another one right here. That's a little wide. He's lucky he got 9 out of that. That could easily have been a 2-10 or a 2-8-10, something in that family. I never liked that family. Never wanted them to move into my neighborhood. That 2-10 family, send them somewhere else. Yes, when the 2-10s move in, there goes the neighborhood. He covers the 2, though. And Christian maintains a 28-pin lead. Getting down to the closing frames now. We see the bowlers that are coming up in the next few matches warming up over on lane 40. And the kids over on 35 were our littles who have stayed. Those 2 have decided to be best friends now. They just met a couple of weeks ago, but they'll bowl together until sundown if we let them. Christian rips the rack. And that's 3 out of 4 strikes in the last 4 frames. I think McFluffy has finally settled down. He liked that one. Now Tristan needs to get busy. Oh, that could have gone. He hits light, but leaves the shaker 7. He sent half the rack over to the left side of the deck, but the 7 stubbornly refuses to go. But he takes it out with the spare ball. Tristan a possible 189. Christian going at a 187 pace. So this not over yet. Tristan turns away. He knew it as soon as it came off his hand that it was wide. And he's left the fence. The 1-2-4-7. We saw Christian leave this earlier. He made it on the right side. This is how we recommend shooting it. Put the ball over to the left of the 1 pin. Well, that seems to be the preferred method today. Making it on the right. Hey, whatever it takes. So Christian back up on the right, working on a strike. He can start putting this match away now. Well, a balk. Maybe a little bead of sweat dropped down into his eye. I'm not sure. It is a little warm in the bowling center today. So he will start over and go completely through his routine again. That's the smart thing to do. Wide again, and look at this. He gets the 2 and the 8 to go out, leaving just the 10. Very fortunate. That was well wide. Look where that ball is, out about the 3rd board, maybe 2 board. And it just ticks the head pin, and the 2 and 8 go out late. Hey, on the score sheet, it looks like he left a solid 10. The last time he faced this, he missed it. But he makes it this time. Quite possibly the first time he's made a 10-pin all day. He said in league earlier today he missed them all. I think we've all had days like that with the 10-pin. All right, Tristan now, the best he can do is 175. Christian puts a strike on the board, so he inches closer to closing this match out. We will look at the classic wall shot. The ball comes in light, and the head pin takes out the 4, 5, and 7. Tristan must strike. And he gets the light one to shake them all out. Four is the last to go. But now Tristan, with his back to the wall, he must strike the rest of the way. If he strikes out for 175, Christian would need to mark. But no, through the nose, the 4-7-9, and that'll do it. Christian has won the opening match. And Tristan, after his opening 195 in qualifying, then he fell off to that 147 game, has just been searching ever since. Hard to tell if he just ran out of gas today or just never quite found the line. But you can tell his frustration has taken over, and well, he's there just about every week, so I'm sure he'll get other chances. Christian puts one through the nose, and it's all academic. If he makes this, he'll be in the 180s to start. Now, when you're in this position, the thing to do is go ahead and try to make the spare so that you can shoot it a full rack and maybe try a slightly different line, maybe test out another ball. Use the fill ball to try out a different shot, just to see if you've got a fallback position that you can go to if what you're doing now stops working, or maybe you find something better. And for some reason, the pin setter is cycling all on its own now. Nobody touched anything. And Christian is wondering what's going on. And so he moves over to the left lane, and no, you need to bowl on the right lane. Just a fill ball, doesn't really matter. He's already got the game won. And he shreds the rack and shoots 187. A nice opening game, good enough to win, and it's Christian who is on to match 2, where he will face AMF Woodstock's Anthony when we come back right after this. Peace. It's Coach Randy. You know, one of the questions I get asked all the time is, how do I get on Prodigy Bowlers Tour? And you're not going to believe how simple the answer is. You show up and bowl. Okay, it's a little more complicated than that, but not a lot. For starters, you must be a youth bowler. That means you have to have not turned 20 years of age as of August 1st of the current bowling season, which this year means that as long as you had not yet turned 20 as of August 1st, 2017, you're eligible. Now, if you're under 18, you must be accompanied by one of your parents or a legal guardian the first time you come bowl, as they'll have to sign a release form that grants me permission to photograph their minor child and put their image on the internet. I won't do it without their permission. No exceptions. But other than that, you just show up and bowl. Now, you're responsible for the cost of your lineage. That means you pay for any games you bowl, whether they're warm-up, qualifying games, any stepladder games you bowl for the show, or really any other lineage you rack up while bowling with us. Open play rates apply, but there's no entry fee to enter the Prodigy event. You're only responsible for your lineage fees. We bowl at 12:30 p.m. on Saturdays at Brunswick Zone Roswell, except when we don't. And the best way to stay up to date on all the late-breaking schedule changes or changes of venue is to join our Facebook group. It's called Prodigy Bowlers Tour. You could have guessed that. And all you have to do is just submit a request to join the group. Be sure to answer the 3 screening questions you'll be asked. They're designed to prove that you're a real live human who's interested in bowling and in Prodigy and not a spam bot. But if you plan on coming to bowl with us, I strongly advise you to let me know you're coming. Either post something to that effect in our Facebook group, or ping me on Facebook Messenger, or send me an email at randy@prodigybowlerstour.com, or text me if you have my number. Now, if we know you're coming and you're running a few minutes late, we'll wait for you, for a little while anyway. Sometimes when we know people are coming from across town, we'll wait as late as 1 o'clock to give them ample opportunity to navigate the Atlanta traffic to come bowl with us. So that's it. It's easy. Everybody who comes to bowl has a good time. But just know that just because you come bowl doesn't mean you'll make the show. You'll still have to get through a qualifying round, and it's not as easy as it looks. And it's a whole lot harder to win on Prodigy than you might think. Just ask anyone who's tried. But hey, maybe you'll be the rare individual who wins the first time you bowl Prodigy. It happens. Might as well give it a shot. Show up and bowl. Well, we mentioned that Tristan started having trouble in his second game of qualifying today, and he just wasn't able to reverse the trend, while Christian stepped up and made just enough quality shots to get past this first match. So it's Christian who's moving on to match 2, where he'll face Anthony. Anthony is coming off a 4th place finish last week on our Daylight Bowling Time episode. This two-hander is looking for his 2nd win of the season on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, and his first since winning the title on our first anniversary show back on November 11th. He's hungry for another win. And he has chosen to start the match. But that one comes in light, and trouble to start. Anthony leaves the 2-4-10. Here's how you make it. Get that ball over to the left of the 2. Drive it over into the 10. The ball will get the 4. Seems simple enough. Pretty good try. Just hooked a little too much. So that's an open to start for Anthony. He said he had never faced Christian in our stepladder on Prodigy, and that would be correct. And Christian finds the pocket on his opening shot and bulldozes the pins down. Takes an early lead. Although at this stage of the match, that doesn't mean a whole lot. With 9 frames left. Oh, it came in just a little high, but he trips the 4. And Christian registers a double to start the match. And we will take another look at this. As the ball just drifts a little high, but the 2-pin goes to the sideboard and trips out the 4 and the 7. And he knows he got away with one there. Anthony crossing over, leaves the 6. And he won't hesitate. He goes for his plastic ball to shoot at the spare. And takes care of it. Well, we've talked about it before. Anthony has been bowling for less than a year. So obviously he still has much to learn, but he has proven to be a natural talent and has made quite a bit of progress in a short amount of time. The thing I like most about his game, other than the fact that he gets so much on the ball, is he usually finishes in great balance. And if you can finish in great balance, not falling off balance at the line, it will afford you the opportunity to max out your leverage. And he's able to do that. Christian through the nose this time. And now he's got the 6. So he switches to his urethane ball. This isn't strictly a spare ball. He'll use this same urethane ball on short oil patterns. But it's the closest thing to a spare ball that he carries. You see it does hook a little bit, but not much. Christian throwing his Forza SS today. I guess that's probably as close to a benchmark ball as he has in his arsenal. And there's the messenger he was looking for on the very first ball he threw today. Watch this. Watch the head pin go to the left sideboard, and here it comes. Wipes out the 10 pin. And there's a ringing 10. You want to know what a ringing 10 looks like? Watch the 6 pin, the second one from the right. It will fly up and around the 10 pin. We call it the solid 10. The weak 10 is where the 6 lays down in the channel. Anthony covers the spare, though. He sure would have liked to have carried that one and cut Christian's lead by 10. That's how scoring works in bowling. You string strikes, you can pile up a lead or cut into the opponent's lead. That's what he was looking for the last frame. Slap out that 10 pin. Watch the 6 this time. It'll go into the wall and come back and chop out the legs from under the 10 pin. That's how it's done right there. Christian carefully setting his feet. He's been pretty deliberate today, taking his sweet time. And that's a solid strike right there. It seems like he got that ball out wide where it's been hanging before, but a little softer speed, give it a chance to finish. And look at this, he's got 4 strikes in 5 frames. He can extend to a 41-pin lead with a strike here. But no, that one was way out into the weeds, and he leaves what I like to call the solid 1. Nothing really solid about that hit. It was way wide of the mark, but you don't often see the single pin 1 pin left. Pretty easy spare, though. They don't get much easier than this. And he takes care of it. So the lead is 30. But with Anthony working on a strike, he can throw a strike here and cut it to 20. And then another strike on the left lane would cut it to 10. So he's got a chance to get right back in this. There's the first one. Watch this. It'll hit light and just send everything over to the left side of the rack. But this is the critical ball right here. He needs a strike. Pulled it. And it goes Brooklyn. So instead of pulling to within 10, the lead is now 21. And oh my goodness, he misses the 6 pin. So all that work to draw close, and Christian is back out to a 33-pin lead. That was a huge mistake there. Pulling the first ball was his first mistake. And then whiffing on the single pin spare might prove fatal this game. Christian in the driver's seat, up in the 7th. But he goes a little high, nearly had the 4-9 there. But he gets away with it, leaves just the 9 pin. Going with his strike ball for this spare. I like that choice. Similar to shooting a strike, but the 9 pin sits a good 1.5 feet behind the pocket, so you want to adjust your feet slightly left, maybe a board or 2. And he takes care of the 9, no problem. With that 9-pin sitting farther back, the ball has room to hook left in front of it. So you want to adjust for that when you're shooting those back row spares, like the 8 or the 9-pin. Hello, Earth to Christian. Hey buddy, the pins are over there. That's a 3 count. He loses 7 pins in count. And he better be careful. An open here could tighten this match again and bring Anthony right back in it. Oh my goodness. Well, he nearly whiffed them all. That's 8 out. And now all of a sudden, Anthony is just 13 pins behind. And if he can throw a double right now, he'll pull to within 3. Well, Christian can't believe he did that. Believing. All right, Anthony. Oh no! A golden opportunity squandered. He had the 2-4-8-10 up. The 2 goes out. The 4-8-10 is no bargain. You shoot it like this, it's a little easier than the 4-10. That 8 can give you a little margin for error. But you're not going to make it shooting it like that. So instead of drawing to within 3 with a double in the 8th and 9th, Anthony falls 25 pins behind. He's had 2 second chances and squandered both of them. And now another split. Well, got to take advantage of those opportunities when they fall out of the heavens to you. And that's 3 opens in a row, and see you later. Anthony now with a possible 172. Christian just needs 15 pins in the next 2 frames, and he'll have that beat. Barring one of his patented gutter balls, he should be able to handle that. That strike will set up a pretty stress-free 10th frame. And that one even gets a bit of applause from Anthony. And he will split the 8-9 here. Can you see the steam coming out of his ears? He is PO'd. Few pins will put this one away. And that'll do it. Yes, Anthony had called for the double gutter there in the 10th. And with Christian, you just never know. But instead, he got the double strike in the 9th and the 10th, and Christian is your winner in this second match today. And that ball in the 11th drifts high. He leaves the 3-6-9-10, but it does not matter. He will be in the 200s. And that'll set up a match between Christian and Logan in our semifinal. I know a lot of people were hoping to see that. Our 2 leaders in wins this year, each with 4 wins on Prodigy in this bowling season. Well, that's not how we recommend making the 3, 6, 9, 10, but he gets them all. And Anthony just going through the motions to finishing out the game. He'll just heave one down the lane and get this over with. I think he was a little surprised that ball didn't get up, but it doesn't matter. 204 to 151. Christian is your winner of match 2. And these two best friends will be going at it in our semifinal, Christian and Logan, when we come back. Each week on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, we begin by reminding you that the show is best viewed full screen. And looky, here are some Prodigy heads to show you how it's done. They're part of one of the fastest growing audiences on YouTube. You know, as we're producing this week's show, the channel is about to go over 9,000 subscribers. In fact, by the time you're watching this, we've probably already topped 9K. That's amazing. And it's because of you and other Prodigy heads like you that Prodigy Bowlers Tour keeps growing. We want to acknowledge the part you play in making Prodigy what it is by featuring your smiling face on our Prodigy Selfies segment. Take a picture of yourself watching Prodigy Bowlers Tour on your big screen TV, your computer, or on your mobile device, full screen of course, and email it to me at randy@prodigybowlerstour.com. Be sure to include your first and last name, your age, the city where you live, and which episode you're watching. And stay tuned to see your face go viral on a future episode of Prodigy Bowlers Tour. The final score made it look like more of a runaway than it really was. Anthony had a chance late in the match to close the lead down to within a mark, but up popped a split and then another one, and at the end, Christian had the shots when he needed them. So, 2 matches down, 2 matches won, and Christian advances to match 3 to face his good friend and teammate, Logan. These two are tied with 4 wins apiece this season on Prodigy Bowlers Tour to lead all players for most wins in 2017-18. But only one of them will advance to the championship match to have a chance to push their win total on the year to 5. This should be a good contest. And once again, Logan with the choice wants to finish first. Christian likes that. He likes to go first, so everybody gets what they want. Gotta like that. And Christian gets what he wants in the first frame, a strike. As even if that 9-pin was thinking about standing, well, something there took it out. Looks like maybe the 2-pin comes off the wall and chops out the 9. All right, Logan. Oh, and it looked like he was going to get a messenger, but the message was instead delivered that this is not going to be a strike. Watch the head pin go to the left wall, and it got redirected by the 5-pin in front of the 10, and that's what cost Logan the strike. But Logan taking extra care on his spares. He not only throws urethane, but he also modifies his release at those right side spares. Comes right up the back of it, throws it end over end, straight ball at spares, and I love his technique. And we have an even match. As we get started, both players with a mark in the first frame. And we will see a little kibitzing this match between these two. They like to put the needle in. Logan drifts high with that one, leaving the 4-7. These two are on the same bowling team in our Saturday morning league, the Roswell Varsity. Logan with the high average on the team. Christian actually has the low average of the three players on the team. Brandon, their third member, has the second highest. Christian hoping to put a double up and take an early lead here. But instead drifts high, and now he's got the 310 baby split. Look at these two side by side. Their games are actually quite similar. Couple of errant shots they hit earlier, but watch this. And they get to the release point. They're in almost identical positions. They get there a little differently, but at release, they're in virtually the same position. And Christian gets a little too much of the 3-pin, and there's an open frame and an early gift to Logan. So Christian will move over to the left lane and try to regroup. He knows he can't be giving away any freebies to his buddy here. Oh no. And the old McFluffy. And the old gutter ball. Well, we've seen him do it before as he gets a little encouragement from Nolan, who's in our gallery today. All right, now look, he's not working on a spare or a double, so he hasn't lost any count. This is as good as 9 if he makes it. And he does. So as you can see, I've pulled him aside over on the left, just told him that, look, that's as good as 9 spare. Don't let it bug you. You're still right in it. It won't be for long if Logan throws many more of those. And this is as good a strike as you'll see. This is just dead solid perfect right there. So Logan with a chance to extend the lead to 20 if he can strike here in the 4th frame. And he gets another good one. We'll watch this one again. Watch his reaction. Go time. That's what he said. Go time. Are you kidding? And Christian wanders off. And you can hear him slap his hand into the brick wall over on the right. He hit it hard enough. That had to hurt. But I'll tell you what really hurt was the 0 count. This time he was on a spare. He's lost 10 pins in count. He needs to make this spare just to stay in the match. And he gets the love tap on the 10. That's huge. Back-to-back gutter balls, back-to-back spares. And there's the conversion of the spare, and he just waves at it like whatever. Now he's 30 behind. And he stuffs that one. That could have been a three-bagger. He is not a happy camper, and look at Logan taking this in, laughing. I don't know. He didn't give that one near as much room. He knows now he can't send it wide. It'll just stay out there. And you better be careful. You don't want to piss off your opponent. Give them added incentive. I know these two are friends and they will needle each other, but I don't know about laughing at a guy when he's down. But Logan with the 2-pin, a conversion, and he will maintain a 29-pin lead. And there it is. And we seem to have a bit of a scoring problem in the bowling center. The score on your screen is correct, but the overhead score is showing that he missed that 2-pin. So I've had to step in and make the correction. And the light shaker doesn't quite go as the 7-pin remains. Pretty good shot. And he switches to his urethane ball to go straight at the 7. How's that for technique right there? So now Christian shaken by those back-to-back gutters in the 3rd and 4th. Got the strike in the 5th, but now he needs strikes to shave the lead. There's a good one right there. That cuts it to 18. And now he can bring this match back to within a mark if he can carry another strike here in the 7th. Take another look at that one. And his reaction. Gives it the fist pump. And he looks very focused. I think he heard Logan's laughter back in the 4th when he threw that second one in the moat. And there's another solid strike. So Christian has climbed back in this. And not only watch his reaction, but listen to it. A little guttural, yeah. And look out, Logan. Looked like he was starting to run that one out, and it jumped on him. I think he was surprised by that reaction. Yeah, I think he was. He was surprised by that. But now he's got the 3, 6, 9, 10. The pros will tell you this is one of the most difficult non-split or non-washout spares they ever face. And to make matters worse, the pin setter cycled and swept the spare away. Here, watch this. This is what happened. The pin setter just came down and swept the spare away while Logan was getting set to shoot it. And now we wait while we call the back and get them to respot the 3, 6, 9, 10. Got to put the ball between the 3 and the 6, but have enough drive to carry out the back pin, the 9 pin. That's the tricky one. Well, while we wait, a reminder that in a couple of Saturdays, we will be over at AMF Woodstock on Easter weekend. That's Saturday, March 31st. Our league is off while our bowling center is taken over by a tournament all weekend. So we'll be holding our Prodigy event over there at AMF Woodstock in Woodstock, Georgia. If you bowl league in the area, like at Austell or Cherokee Lanes, come see us. We'll start at 1, March 31st. All right, finally, after the long delay, this is like calling timeout on a place kicker before the game-winning field goal. Let's see if he can make the spare. No, he gets it wide, leaves the 3. And with that open frame, look who has taken the lead. Christian takes the lead sitting on the bench. And now it's Logan who's on the defensive. And he shreds the rack, but the 7 remains. Watch this. Watch the 5 pin, the one in the middle of the rack. The ball will deflect and it will just send the 5 in front of the 7. That is the classic swishin' 7. And he'll go straight at it just like he did a couple of moments ago. Just barely ticks it, but a spare nonetheless. And now look at this. Christian coming off a turkey. He's got 2 strikes up. He can extend the lead to 17 with another one here in the 8th. Wouldn't have guessed that back in the 4th frame. How about that? How about that? And we'll watch it again. This ball out to about the 5th board. And he slaps out the 10. And we'll watch his reaction to it. He knows this was huge. Haven't seen him this focused in a while. That's another good shot, but the 10 remains. Didn't quite face up like he wanted it to. And that's what we call the weak 10. Instead of the 6 flying up and around the 10, the 6 just lays down in the channel, lacking the impetus to fly all the way around. So Christian, with a 16-pin lead, needs to cover this 10. If he spares here in the 9th, he can't be shut out by Logan. If he opens, Logan could get up and win the match. But he gets it, and that's huge. So Christian going at a 2:07 pace. Logan with a possible 2:11 if he gets 4 strikes now. Look at this. Look at this. He goes wide and leaves the 2-8-10. I've only seen this made maybe twice in my life. He goes boldly for it, but not to be. And now Logan with a possible 185. This match is just about over. Christian in position to take this match with his first ball in the 10th. Logan with a possible 185. Christian sitting at 177. He just needs a few pins on his first ball to put it away. And with that ringing 10, this match is over. And Christian has climbed back from the abyss to take this semifinal match from Logan. And that spare does not matter. A 174 for Logan. And Christian doesn't need a single pin here in the 10th. He can just, if he wanted to take another ball and test out an alternate line, but it looks like he's going to go with what's been working. And why not? Well, when he threw those back-to-back gutter balls in the 3rd and 4th frames and then made the spares, those spares were hugely important. And then he followed that with a 4-bagger. Well, that's just as gutty a performance as you'll ever see. I think it's fair to say it's also a bit of an inconsistent performance, but we know that Christian will occasionally fire the wild one. And look at this, the pin setter cycling once again, sweeping his 9-pin away. And look at this. This is just a fill ball in the 10th frame. The match has already been won. This is what happened. It respotted the 9 after his first ball, and then just suddenly the sweep came down and swept it off the deck. Well, I don't know why that happens, but it's annoying. And well, we've talked about this before. It's unofficial, informal, and impromptu competition, so we've just told him, put this ball over where the 9-pin is, we'll give you a spare. And we think he would have made it, and the 10 goes out late. So we're going to give him the spare. The match was already decided anyway, doesn't matter. It's Christian and Melissa for the championship when we return. People have asked me where the name Prodigy Bowlers Tour comes from. And to be honest, the first time I used the name, it was for a mashup or parody video I produced of my son Derek. Back in 1981, when he was 8 years old, I took him to Golden Triangle Lanes in Irving, Texas, just outside Dallas, where I lived at the time. And in the summer of 2016, I took some of the footage I had shot of him and synced it up with some audio clips I had of ABC TV's Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. doing play-by-play on ABC's long-running series Pro Bowlers Tour. And I created this goofy video of my son. It was the first time the name Prodigy Bowlers Tour was used, and I thought you might get a kick out of it. It's pretty silly.
We're at the center of the Metroplex, Dallas-Fort Worth, in warm, friendly Texas. We're glad to be back, for today the winner in our live coverage will receive $15. Good afternoon, I'm Chris Schenkel. We're glad to join all of you, as well as our colleague Nelson Burton Jr. Hi, Bo.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Thanks, Bo.
All right, Chris.
So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go away on our live coverage. Our first match, it'll be coming up following this message.
lot of the junior bowlers start at the 8, 9, 10, 11-year-old age.
Oh, he's off to a great start. Second frame, strike up. Didn't come up, leaving the 2.
Chris, the reason the ball goes a little wide on that is, and this is a good lesson for the people at home, is if you let your shoulders roll too far forward, it's hard to get through the ball and lift it out on the lane with a consistent amount of lift. That time he hit his spot, but yet did not get quite the finish he expected.
Enthusiastic crowd here in Texas.
Just lost it, completely lost it. The first shot, his right foot slipped out from underneath him just before he tried to throw the shot. That time he was just totally out of time, no leverage. He knew he lost it.
How do you cover the 1-2-4, Bo?
You have to just move about 5 boards to the right with your feet on the approach, use the same target as the strike target, and the ball goes to the left side of the head pin. Perfect.
All right. Today on the tip of the week, it is spot bowling with Nelson Burton Jr. That'll come a little later in our live telecast from Texas. Oh, they're cropping up.
We spoke of the advantages of the big hook, but there's some disadvantages. When you throw it a little too slow, a count that can change a match around very quickly.
Look at him talking to himself.
The 1, 5, 6, 10. By no means impossible, but definitely tough under these extremely pressure-packed situations.
And there's an open, and Bo.
He paid the penalty for a wild shot.
Seventh pin here in Texas.
Around the pocket, but from that inside angle, watch the 5 pin drive over, try to get the 7, but see the ball deflected, did not quite get enough of the 5 to drive it in there. Just a little more turn on that ball and he had the 7 down. As we said, the percentage on the light pins is in the light pocket, and his ball cuts through very sharply. A routine spare in most situations, but not for all the money. Has to be careful.
Ending at the end and leaving 4-7.
Right, Chris, just a little bit soft with the ball. He has that 4.5 step delivery, eyes the target, goes through the ball, doesn't quite throw it hard enough. And he's now quickly up on the approach with another ball.
All this excitement in our live coverage. The 4-7 goes. High hit, broke up the split, but left the 6-10.
If you want to see how a player with an unusual style, look at the power he gets to with that right foot. Now watch this right foot drive through. See him dig in, deep knee bend, and then lift all the way through with full arm extension, tremendous wrist action, and believe me, he's got a powerful right arm. Textbook style, start the ball in an ideal position.
That one didn't come up, and he has a 2.45.7.
We always talk about the pendulum swing, how important it is to keep that arm close to your body for maximum leverage. That time, let what the players call, let it leak a little bit away from his body. Did not quite get the leverage, hit his spot, but didn't get the finish on the ball. He's been very fortunate so far today, Chris. And let's see if he continues to have good luck cross lane.
Yes. Close. But this is not horseshoes. Ranked it up. Oh, boy.
This shot is just the epitome of what you can do. He cranks that ball up there, wrist flat, and then rolls that wrist at the bottom of the swing with it inside out. What he did to those pins that time, unbelievable. Just ripped them apart.
Oh, we have gotten some tremendous leaves here today.
He leaves the crowd buzzing.
Leaves the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
Has never, ever been left on national television. All the 16 years I've watched and been involved with pro bowlers. Looking down at the approach to pick his proper starting position on the approach. The crowd can't believe it. We've seen 300 games. We've seen everything. What a turnaround.
I've seen Christian bowl better than he did in that last match, but I've never seen him gut out a win quite like that. After those back-to-back gutter balls in the third and fourth frames, it would have been easy to write him off, and the match could easily have slipped away. Logan was bowling great, and just when it appeared Christian lost focus, Logan may have made the mistake of the game, making Christian mad by laughing at his misfortune. Never give your opponent added incentive to focus in like a laser, because that's exactly what McFluffy did. And in the end, he won going away. So Christian keeps climbing the ladder and now finds himself in the championship match. Now Melissa led from the very first game of qualifying, so she's feeling some confidence too. Meanwhile, Christian could easily be emotionally spent after that last match. Melissa may have an advantage going into this championship match. We'll see. One thing is certain, she's never been in this position on Prodigy, one win away from signing the coveted trophy pin. This has all the makings of being a very interesting match. And everybody Christian bowls wants to finish first, so they let Christian start, which is what he likes to do anyway. So here we go. Oh, goodness. The dreaded Stone 8. Well, at least he can smile about it. Can't throw it any better. And he says, "Is that how you really want to start the match?" Yeah, well, probably not. But a spare nonetheless. A spare's never something to sneeze at. And now Melissa. Well, when we first saw Melissa a few months ago, she had never bowled Youth League. She bowled open play only, and she watched Prodigy and got interested, and now she's bowling in a Youth League over in Augusta. And if she leaves many more pocket 710s, she may give up the game. Well, that's an unfortunate break, but in the pocket, here's how you make it. You throw 2 balls at it. Unfortunately, they won't allow it, so you're just going to have to go for 1 and hope it bounces out. The great Andy Verapapa used to do that. He'd throw 1 out of each hand and make this. But not in competition. That's just for exhibition purposes and very entertaining, I might add. But an open frame for Melissa to start. Now, when she first started bowling with us on Prodigy, she was a little green around the ears. But I worked with her a little bit. She got some new equipment. She's throwing a timeless and a pitch black. And she's made quite a bit of progress, obviously. That ball doesn't quite finish, leaves the 10. And this is probably the one spare that gives her the most trouble, because she hasn't yet purchased a plastic ball. She'll throw her pitch black at it. And just try to come up the back of the ball as much as she can. She does it pretty well. Covers the spare. She got out of the gates quickly with a 223 in qualifying. Fell off the second game, but that 176 she threw in game 2 was enough to hold off Logan for first place by 3 pins. And look at this. Christian through the nose and leaves himself a handful. The 3-9-10. This is certainly no bargain here. You got to put the ball over on the right side of the 3 and let it deflect into the 10, but still have enough drive to carry out the 9. This is very missable. And you see why. The ball deflects into the 10 but doesn't drive through to get the 9. So they exchange opens, and now Melissa has the lead. Let's see if that last match took anything out of Christian. Change of balls. And that ball deflects considerably more than the Forza SS that he was throwing. But he gets enough of it. That 8-10 was kind of staring at him for an instant. Watch this. The ball will deflect. And the 5 goes in front of the 8. Just ticks the 8. The 10 goes out. He nearly had the 8-10. But it's a strike. And Melissa comes back with one of her own to maintain her 3-pin lead. And we'll watch it again as this ball gets way out to the right and makes a sharp left turn. She's throwing a timeless on her strikes. And she will switch to that pitch black for most of her spares. Certainly her right side spares. And another one. So Melissa not going to go quietly in this good night. Gets it to turn the corner and slaps out the 10. Good shot. All right, McFluffy may have his hands full, maybe more than he expected. And he backs off. All right, he's gone with this other ball. It's a little weaker than the one he was throwing. This is a tag cannon. And he's got to like that reaction. He says this one will scoot down the lane a little farther before it makes its turn. And that's what he's looking for. That ball has good projection down the lane. And he liked it. So back up on the left lane. And another solid one. So apparently this ball change he made was the right choice. And now let's see if Melissa can hang with him. Well, that's as solid as you can throw it right there. So the gauntlet has been thrown down. Can Melissa stay with him? Yes, she can. Well, how about this? As these two exchange strikes in the third, fourth, and fifth. And Melissa gets this one to just power right through the rack. As she moves over to the left lane. Oh, the stone 9. That could so easily have been a 4-bagger. Well, you want to see what happens, what causes a stone 9? Watch this. The ball is coming in from such an angle that it will drive through and chop the 5 right off the 9. On a perfect strike, the ball hits the 1, 3, 5, and 9, but it doesn't deflect enough to get the 9. And she throws her urethane at that spare and covers it. So now the door is open for Christian to take the lead if he can keep this string of strikes going. I told you this would be an interesting match. Oh, that's a good one, but doesn't quite get the 10. So Christian remains 3 back. He will switch balls, go to the urethane to shoot the 10. He was having trouble with this spare earlier in the day. He's kind of settled down and made the last couple that he's left. He needs to make one here to stay in this match. And he gets it. So here we are in the closing 4 frames, and I think both of these players expected this to be a tight one. Christian may have thought he might have had a little easier going than he's getting, but he's seen Melissa's progress in the last few months. So he can't be that surprised. Oh, he gets a lucky one through the nose, and he trips the 6, 9, 10. Watch this. This ball will go through the nose. The 3-pin will go to the right wall and slip between the 6, 9, and 10 and take them all out. And the bowling gods smile upon Christian. And now Melissa. Up in the 7th, leading by 3. Oh, and she doesn't give that one the room that she gave the others. And she pays the maximum penalty. The 4-6-7. Not much you can do with this, but just take the count. Get the 2 on the left. Maybe 1 will bounce out, but at least make sure you get the 2. Well, no, she sends it a little wide, so that's going to cost her a pin. And she falls 12 behind now. So let's see if Melissa can rally in these closing frames. She's bowled great all day. And she really pushed Christian this match. Let's see if she can put another couple of strikes on the board here at the end. Pretty good play. Nice commercial shot right in the pocket. But the 6 lays down in the channel and leaves the 10 pin. As I mentioned earlier, she hasn't bought a plastic ball yet. So this is the one spare that gives her some difficulty. Oh, and she sends it wide, and that one in the moat. So back-to-back opens for Melissa. And now Christian finds himself in the driver's seat in the closing frames of the championship match, with a chance to extend his lead to 33 with a strike here in the 8th. But the ring 10 denies him. So now he'll have his crack at the pin that has bedeviled him for much of the day. Well, he left it in the 6th frame and made it, no problem. See if he can take care of it again here in the 8th. He does. So now the situation is this. Melissa with a possible 202 if she strikes in the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Christian going at a 205 pace. So this is still anybody's match. Christian up in the 9th. Just wants to keep the ball in play. Another ball change, and this one with disastrous results. We haven't seen him throw this one yet, and he leaves the Greek church, the 4-6-7-9-10. 2 schools of thought. You either go at the left. I say go at the left if you're trying to make it. But if you're going for count, go for the 3 on the right. Actually, another school of thought is if you generate a lot of ball speed, go for the 3 on the right. But if you're a slow baller, go for the 2 on the left. Or you could just go between them and get none. That is a disastrous frame, and Christian losing 5 pins in count on the first ball, losing 5 more pins in count on the second ball, plus the open. And look at this, his lead is down to just 3 pins. And now, this truly is anybody's game. Melissa with a strike in the 9th, 10th, and 11th would shut out Christian. But instead, she doesn't give it the room. Comes up high, leaves the 3. So now the situation is this. She spares and strikes out. She would shoot 192. Christian would need a double and 8 to win. But first things first, she needs to cover this spare. Pretty easy spare. And she gets it. Well, she's never been in this position before, either on Prodigy or really in any kind of tournament whatsoever. She's only bowled in 1 or 2 tournaments in her life. She qualified for junior gold a few weeks ago at the GYBT, but now she has a chance to win on Prodigy. She needs a double to put some pressure on Christian, but even a mark would force Christian to mark. Comes in light, leaves that pesky 10-pin. She missed it in the 8th. She made it earlier in the match. A spare and a strike would give her 181. That would force Christian to fill 17 in the 10th. It's coming down right to it now. But if she wants a legitimate chance to win, she needs to make this 10-pin. Oh, it hooks by! So she's open in the 10th, shoots 170. And it all comes down to this for Christian. He needs 6 pins on 2 balls in the 10th to win his 5th title of the year on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. And dare I say it, he needs to keep the ball on the lane. And there's a winner. And a big smile on McFluffy's face as he captures the crown and goes all the way from 5th to 1st. He likes it. And another one for good measure, as he gets congratulations from the 2 littles who have been bowling over on our left. Hunter's never far from the action. And his little buddy Spiros, they've been having a good old time bowling over there, staying close to the action. Christian, fill it up for 195. And a 3rd strike in the 10th just to show him he can. And that is win number 5 of the 2017-18 season. We'll get Christian to sign the coveted trophy pin. We'll visit with Melissa when we return right after this. Now, bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your bowling center with Prodigy Bowlers Tour t-shirts and sportswear, including collared shirts with the Prodigy logo printed on the back to show that you support junior bowling. Check out the entire assortment of Prodigy t-shirts in the Brownswick store. Visit PRODIGYBowlersTour.com to see the selection. See the ash gray Celebrating Junior Bowling, Elevating Junior Bowlers t-shirt, or the Who Will Win the Coveted Trophy Pin t-shirt. Or maybe you'd want the one that says, I've come to get my bowl on, right on the front of the shirt, or simply, Bowl Me. There's a t-shirt that says, Bowling. You probably don't get it because it's mainly for smart people. And if you're a proud parent with a junior bowler, we've got a t-shirt just for you. And how about this t-shirt? You're bowling an 8th grader. Prepare to meet defeat. Available in grades 1 through 9, most in both adult and kid sizes. And finally, the shirt that reads, Bowl better, have more fun, take lessons. Then maybe you can keep up with me. The Brownswick store is powered by the people at Cafe Press, and all of these shirts are available right now. Just go to PRODIGYBowlersTour.com and click on the link to be taken right to the store. PayPal and credit cards accepted. That's PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. Get your bowl on and bring the spirit of Prodigy Bowlers Tour to your house. Order now. Go to PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. That's PRODIGYBowlersTour.com. Once again, congratulations to Hunter on his win in the Littles division earlier today. And in the bigs, I know it's a bitter pill to swallow, but I think when Melissa goes back and watches this show, she'll realize she bowled really well and hung in there against a tough competitor. She got a horrible break in the first frame, leaving that pocket 7-10. But what sealed her fate in this match were the 2 missed 10 pins in the 8th and 10th frames. Still, even with that, Christian nearly backed up to her when he left that Greek church and then went 5 out in the 9th frame, squandering his lead and tightening the match to a difference of just 3 pins. But despite a handful of real bonehead shots, Christian gutted it out and bowled great when he had to. So, it's McFluffy's day today. This breaks the tie between him and Logan as the winningest player on Prodigy Bowlers Tour so far this season, and we'll get him to sign the coveted trophy pin once again. But first, let's visit with our runner-up.
Melissa, you bowled great all day. So you get up in the 10th frame, you leave that 10 pin.
Yep.
What's going through your mind as you're lining it up?
I was trying to focus on going straight off the back of it because I'd throw all my spares with 2 hands still, so 10 pins are definitely a struggle, especially without a plastic ball. So yeah, I was just trying to hit the target, and I hit where I wanted to, but it hooked more than I thought it would.
So were you
they don't
nervous?
always. Yeah, I was. I mean, it was my first. I think I haven't even made the show. I think once, but I was the last seed, and I've won 1 match before. So
You got close this time, a runner-up finish, and you gave Christian all he could handle.
Yep.
And so did Logan. So middle of that match against Logan, you go back-to-back frames, throwing it in the gutter.
I was furious.
You were furious?
Oh, you don't know how angry I was.
Oh, I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah. And after that, I just said to myself, okay, I want nothing else than just to beat him right now. And I mean, we're great friends and everything, but when it comes to Prodigy, I really want to win.
Well, you did it. You ran the step ladder. And did I hear you say earlier this was the first time you've gone from 5th to 1st? That's pretty awesome, and you bowled great to do it.
Thank you.
So I think you know the drill from here on. And this is 5 wins for you. You take the lead again in wins on the year. In the race for Prodigy Bowler of the Year.
I wanted to take Logan M's spot. He reserved it right there.
But it's gone now. Logan M is going to have to...
Hunter took it earlier.
Hunter took it.
Yeah.
So there you go. So Logan M, you're going to have to pick another spot. McFluffy and Hunter took it. Congratulations, buddy.
Thank you.